Well, my name's Joe St. Clair, and this is my wife, Sarah St. Clair. I've been a lifelong aviation fanatic. I think when I was 3, 4, 5, maybe 5 years old, I read my first airplane book and fell in love with it from there. Through the years, I kept going to air shows, and just every time an airplane was flying around, I was always looking at it. And so much so that I played baseball in high school, played outfield, and my coach said, you know, Joe's a good outfielder, but every time I hear an airplane come over and there's a ball in the air, I'm afraid that the play is not going to go our way because he's going to be watching the airplane. So that kind of morphed into, it kind of sat on the sidelines a little bit until, I don't know, when about the time we started dating. And we were dating, and she'd come, I flew so much at the time towing gliders that she would come out to the airport and watch me tow gliders because that's what I was doing for a living. And so she'd spend all day out there underneath the wing watching me tow gliders. And I would tow gliders in this hot airplane, and when I got done at the end of the day, of course, she had already left to go to work, but at least I got to see her from a distance. But man, that's the way it's been our entire life.
Yeah.
Graduated from college, I flight instructed, made money flight instructing to buy her a ring. Got out of college, went to work doing other stuff for a large retailer in the US, and did that until I was about 30. And then when I was at 30, I woke up one day and said, I can't do this anymore.
Yep.
I got to go to flying. So luckily we had continued on the track of building all our ratings and went to the airlines, and now I fly for a major airline here in Texas. Not American, based in Houston, or based in Dallas. So when you come in here to talk to Oscar and his family about buying an interior, they put you in these chairs, and you sit in these chairs around the table, and you go, wow, these chairs are pretty comfortable. And then as you get through the process, Oscar explains, you know, the padding and what goes into it, and the research he's done, which is fascinating. And you sit in this chair, and after sitting down and doing business with Oscar and his family for several, you know, it'll take several hours to go through and do all the picking out of the stuff you want. You're not tired. Your back doesn't hurt. Your lower back, which always hurts on me, and I'm a sloucher, the lower back doesn't hurt. You stand up, nothing hurts. You can walk away and you go, wow, this feels pretty good. And then Oscar tells you, oh yeah, by the way, your seats in your airplane are made exactly the way the seats you're sitting in are made right now. So the marketing technique is fantastic there. It really is. It really, really is. And so when I sat in those seats for the first time, I noticed I sat up, not down. You know, a lot of times you sit in a Baron, you sit down, and you know, you really sit down. The Baron kind of comes up around you. On this one, I feel like I'm sitting a little bit more like a 310, which is one of the aspects with 310 I loved, was you sit higher in the cockpit, and in this one you do sit higher in the cockpit, and the feel is just so comfortable.
The support's
so
there.
comfortable. Yes. I don't feel like I'm reaching way forward. I never could find a nice, comfortable way to adjust myself, and you know, you always feel like you're reaching way forward for this. Now I feel like I'm sitting in the seat and all the controls are right here, and it just is comfortable. Very comfortable.
Fits like a glove.
It does, yeah. My wife's been very patient with all of the money and resources we spent on airplanes over the years. But when she said go get a faster airplane, we did. It took us a long time to find this airplane, but we went and got a faster airplane. And then she said, she looked at it, she goes, well, what's the interior look like? I said, well, it needs a little work. So she said, okay. So she looked in the interior, she goes, I don't care what you do and what you spend on the rest of the airplane, I want a nice interior. And I said, okay. So we started looking at interiors, and we found Aviation X, and we started looking at, we noticed the YouTube.
Yes.
And we started watching videos. She looked at me and said, can we go there? I said, absolutely. So I contacted Aviation X on the phone, and I can't remember who I spoke with. I think maybe I emailed, maybe I got Cecia maybe. Yeah, and then she called me and she goes, well, would you like to come down? I said, yes. And they gave me kind of an idea of where we would be price-wise. We came down, picked it up, and went from there.
And that's when Oscar and I developed a partnership.
Absolutely. Yes.
That's when we developed the partnership.
That's a very good way of saying it.
Picking out the colors. You just did such an amazing job helping me pick out the colors. I knew I wanted warm tones because the exterior has the gold on there, and I wanted it to stay classy. And you know, when I was torn between some things, or at one point I asked you, okay, what do you really think? And you said, I like your colors, but might I suggest this? And that was it. And it's wonderful. And you have so much experience too that you can better envision what's going on. But you also listened. You listened to what our desires were and where we wanted to go with it. And I truly believe that you captured the sense of how we wanted the interior to feel and to look.
Never imagined an interior could look that good in an airplane, and it really does.
We may have some neighbors who are calling you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's worth the expense to do this interior, because you just don't come away disappointed. And you know, all I'll tell the people out there that are interested in Aviation X is definitely, you know, if you're not good at coordinating colors and designs, don't come by yourself. Please bring your wife, your significant other, whatever it is, so that they can work with Oscar, because it really is a joy to watch the two work together and discuss. And you get to sit in the back and drink a lot of water, like a lot of Pellegrino, and just enjoy the show and watch what goes on.
But if you don't have someone, then you have
absolutely
plenty of people to come together and to help with the artistic side of it. So that's really a benefit. For sure.
I'm so used to seeing a mildew-stained, rotting, green fabric that, you know, the 80s were calling and wanting their interior back.
And green is beautiful if it's beautifully done. It was not beautifully done before.
And as a guy, you never know how the colors are going to work out. I mean, I have no idea. I mean, white is white. It's not, you know, off-white, or pink is pink, or it's not dusty rose or whatever. And so when they were talking, when Sarah and Oscar were talking about colors in the airplane, I was like, I don't know if that's going to go together. I mean, if it was left up to me, it would have been a completely different color scheme. And I know what I would have done in my head, and looking at what I see now, I would have been disappointed in what I would have decided. So I'm so glad.
Yeah.
The last one being dark and dingy, you kind of felt like you were getting into a cave, because it was dark and dingy, and the seats were a beige, but the seats were even very worn and dirty and grimy. And now when you get into it, it's very warm, inviting, very enlightening.
Calming.
Yeah, it's a lighter interior. It just looks
beautiful.
So much better. I mean, it's unbelievable.
It's beyond excellent. I know that when we fly home, the whole time we're gonna be like, wow, this is amazing.
Yes.
You know.
I'm still in the shock phase. I think I do like the Aviation X logo in the back. I do. The bees. I mean, the Beechcraft logo on the headsets are amazing. I mean, that really pops.
The seats are unbelievable.
Absolutely.
And then also the attention to detail with the other pieces. Now, I would call it a dashboard. In the aviation world, you call it a
glare shield.
A glare shield. And so that was completely redone, and because the old one was literally falling apart. And then even some of the knobs were painted, and just all the attention to detail. And so it all comes together in a cohesive look, and it looks new. And the yolks.
Oh yeah! Oh my
are
goodness!
Gorgeous.
Yes, I remember climbing in and looking down. I was looking down at the fuel selector panel. I'm like, "What looks different?" You know, I'm like, "That looks really clean." And Oscar says, "You notice anything?" I said, "Well, I do." And he goes, "Yeah." He says, "What do you think?" I mean, it was the details. It was the red knobs. I mean, the fuel selector handles were painted red. They were worn out from 50 plus years worth of wear and tear. No one's I mean, that's just the kind of attention to detail I noticed in the entire interior that was done. Yeah, and you don't get that at every place that you go. Very fortunate to have that. Yes. Pilots are cheap by design, right? I mean, we're the kind of people that pick up the free newspapers. We stop and pick up a penny, but we don't think twice about, you know, buying airplanes and stuff like that, right? However, when it comes to interiors, a lot of people want to cheapen the interior. They'll look at an interior that they have and they'll go, well, I can just take it to the local car upholsterer, you know, and do the burn testing, it'll be okay. Or I can just order a kit and do it myself. And, you know, when you say, well, why would you do that? They're like, well, it's expensive doing the interior. Well, it is. Nothing about aviation is inexpensive. There's nothing inexpensive about aviation. So the question, I guess the wisdom, or what I would pass on, is it's not going to be cheap to do an interior. However, that's where you as a pilot and your passengers are going to spend the majority of your time in this airplane. They're not going to spend it outside looking at it. They're not going to spend it, a lot of them aren't going to spend it looking at the dash panel, you know, the dashboard, look at what avionics you have. They're going to look at the interior. And it really does show whether or not you have a high quality interior or you have a run-of-the-mill cheap interior. And that really does. I thought it would make the airplane. I didn't realize how much it would make the airplane. I mean, you know, I love like Sarah said, I love the paint scheme. I mean, I don't know, what do you think? I mean,
Well,
it's just,
if someone wanted to do the interior over and over again and they wanted to try it and go through the frustration and have to buy the equipment to be able to do it and then try to learn the skills, whatever, that's one thing. But if you just want to do it one time and know that it's done so well that you, unless your tastes change, you won't have to do it again. You know, so if they don't want to have to do it again, if they don't want to have any oops moments, if they want to have less frustration, then come here. Because it will be done well. The customer service is amazing. If anything is a little off, we've been reassured that it will be taken care of, no questions asked. They stand by their product, they stand by their work. And sure, go ahead, buy a kit, try it yourself. Good luck, but you're gonna spend a lot of time in frustration and a lot of extra money that you wouldn't have to do because you don't wanna have to redo it.
And the old adage, you get what you pay for, rings true here. Because it really does. I mean, it's just an amazing interior. Holy cow!
This is not the same airplane.
Hey, so what did you do with our real airplane we brought you?
Gorgeous!
Oh my goodness!
Oh my goodness!
Oh, wow! You have got to be kidding me.
Yeah, the design.
It's gorgeous.
The design is, oh my goodness, yes. This thing looks great. Oscar, you guys nailed it. I don't know how you guys did this. I mean, I sat at home and tried to imagine what this would look like.
Oh yeah.
Nothing like this. This is
No.
so much, oh my goodness. These look wonderful. Oh my goodness,
Oh,
this
yeah.
is so much nicer.
This is redone.
Oh, this is way awesome. Oscar, fantastic job. There's no way I would be able to achieve an interior like this doing it myself, or having a local car shop do it, which a lot of people do, or having, nothing against certain companies online that provide kits like that. Some of them look very, very good, but if you want an interior to be proud of, that you can display, that looks as good as the rest of your airplane, it's hard to beat this one. Yeah, I mean, the airplane looks better than brand new. It really does.
Oh, yeah.
I guarantee it from out of the shop looking at it.
No, for sure.